Blood tastes like coppery milk gone sour and shattered spotlight dreams. Collapsing on the ice-cold plexiglass stage of the Zenith Meowditorium wasn't on the debut schedule. Hearing lead visual Stella Purrington whine about blood staining her limited edition crystal heels while my heart monitor flatlined, that was the final track. Dying for a manufactured idol clowder is a pathetic way to go. But waking up exactly 30 days before that fatal debut? That is a dangerously beautiful second chance. Death isn't a bright light. It's the smell of burnt ozone from the stage pyrotechnics, the blinding glare of a follow spot, and the crushing weight in your chest as your heart finally gives out. I remember the thud my knees made against the stage. I remember the gasps from the VIP scratching posts. Mostly, though, I remember Stella's voice. She didn't yowl for a medic. She hissed, "Oh my cat, she's ruining the choreo. Simon, get her off the stage." That was the last thing I heard before the world went black. 3 years of starving myself on ice cubes and plain tuna flakes. 3 years of bleeding through my paw pads in the practice den. 3 years of singing every high note, every complex run, every emotional bridge for our group only to have my microphone turned off during live shows so Stella could stand center stage and pretend my voice came out of her perfectly glossed lips. Then I opened my eyes. I didn't wake up in a vet clinic. I woke up staring at the bottom of a particle board bunk bed, suffocating in the familiar claustrophobic heat of the Apex Entertainment Trainee Denver. The air smelled of cheap catnip hairspray, stale diet kibble, and anxiety. I sat up gasping. My lungs filled with air. Real, functional air. No crushing pain in my chest, no dizzying exhaustion threatening to pull me under. I pressed my paw against my sternum. A steady, rhythmic heartbeat answered. I scrambled out of the narrow cot, my bare paw pads hitting the sticky linoleum floor. Across the den, Piper was asleep, her mouth hanging open, a sheet mask dried stiff to her fur. Above me, Gemma snored softly. Stella's bed was empty. Naturally. She always slept in the master suite of the den, a perk of her father being a major shareholder at Apex. I grabbed my phone from the charging dock. The screen flared to life, burning my retinas. October 14th, 2023. Exactly 30 days before debut. Exactly 30 days before I died of stress-induced cardiac arrest on the Zenith Meowditorium stage. I stared at the numbers until they blurred. Rebirth, time travel, a glitch in the universe. Whatever it was, it didn't matter. The only thing that mattered was the raw, trembling anger slowly waking up in my veins. I walked into the cramped bathroom and looked in the mirror. I looked like a ghost. My ribs showed through my thin coat. My fur was dull, with dark bruises under my eyes from chronic insomnia. I was 19, but I looked like I had lived 3 exhausting lifetimes. This was the girl who thought obedience was the currency for success. This was the girl who believed Simon, our manager, when he said, "You don't have the face of a pop star, Riley. You're lucky we're letting you in the clowder at all. Just sing the tracks and be grateful." I turned on the faucet and splashed freezing water over my face. The shock of it was brilliant. "I'm not doing it again," I whispered to the hollow-eyed kitten in the glass. The words felt foreign, heavy, real. Piper stood in the doorway, scratching her stomach, her sheet mask flaking off onto her shoulders. She looked at me with the usual mix of disdain and irritation. "Nothing," I said, grabbing a towel. "Whatever. Hurry up. Simon wants us in Studio A by 8. We're doing the final vocal tracking for Neon Hearts. Make sure your voice isn't shot. Stella needs to wrap her solo schedule by noon, so she doesn't have time to wait while you warm up." In my past life, those words would have sent me into a panic. I would have spent the next 30 minutes doing quiet vocal trills in the shower, terrified of delaying Stella. I would have skipped my half portion of breakfast to ensure my throat was clear. Today, I looked at Piper, tossed the damp towel into the hamper, and walked past her. "Tell Simon I'll be there when I'm there." Piper scoffed loud and grating. "Excuse me, have you lost your mind? It's the final tracking day, Riley. You know how Simon gets." "I know exactly how Simon gets," I said, pulling a plain gray hoodie over my head. "That's why I'm going to get a bagel. A real one, with cream cheese and salmon flakes." Piper stared at me like I had just announced I was going to swallow glass. "You're psychotic. If they weigh us today, you're dead. I'm already dead, I thought. Now I'm just dangerous. Studio A was a monument to Apex Entertainment's fabricated perfection. Soundproof foam, state-of-the-art mixing boards, and a vocal booth that felt more like a padded carrier. When I walked in 20 minutes late, holding a half-eaten everything bagel and a regular full-sugar iced milk, the room went entirely silent. Simon, a tomcat whose blood pressure was perpetually visible in the purple veins on his forehead, lowered his clipboard. Stella was sitting on the leather sofa, scrolling through her phone, looking impeccable in a designer tracksuit covered in rhinestone paw prints. Gemma and Piper were standing nervously by the wall, looking at me like a dead kitten walking. Where the hell have you been? Simon's voice was dangerously low. And what is that in your paw? I took a bite of the bagel. The starch, the salt, the dense bread, the salmon. It was the most incredible thing I had ever tasted. I chewed slowly, swallowed, and washed it down with the sweet milk. Breakfast, I said. Simon's face turned violently red. Spit it out now. Go to the bathroom and throw it up, Riley. You have a weigh-in at noon. We are not delaying the debut because you decided to gorge yourself like a pig. Stella looked up from her phone, a pristine, mocking smile on her lips. Come on, Simon, let her eat. It just means she gets to stand in the back during the chorus. It's better for the visual balance anyway. I'm not standing in the back, I said. Stella's smile faltered. You'll stand exactly where the choreographer tells you to stand, Simon snapped. Now get in the booth. We need to track the bridge for Neon Hearts. Stella is going to lip-sync this one on the music shows, so I need you to mimic her speaking tone when you hit the high note. Make it breathy, but don't lose the support. I looked at the vocal booth, the heavy glass door, the expensive microphone waiting to steal my voice and give it to a kitten who couldn't hold a tune in a litter box. I had spent hundreds of hours in that box bleeding my soul into a microphone so Stella could go viral for her angelic vocals. I looked at Simon. No. The word dropped into the room like a grenade. Gemma gasped softly. Piper took a step back. Excuse me. Simon said. No, I repeated, clearer this time. I leaned against the heavy oak door frame. I'm not doing it. I'm not singing Stella's bridge. I'm not doing Gemma's backing harmonies. I'm not doing the guide tracks for Piper's rap. If Stella wants to lip-sync the bridge on national television, she can record it herself. Stella stood up, her phone clattering to the floor. What is your problem today, Riley? Are you having a mental breakdown? You know I have vocal nodules right now. You don't have nodules, Stella, I said, staring her dead in the eye. You just can't sing. You have the vocal range of a dying squeaky toy. And the only reason you're in this clowder is because your dad bought the CEO a new yacht last Christmas. The silence was deafening. Even the sound engineer, a quiet Tom named Jude who usually pretended he was invisible, swiveled his chair around to stare at me. That's it, Simon roared, pointing a trembling claw at my face. You are suspended. You hear me? Suspended. Get out of my studio. You are breaching your contract, Riley. Do you have any idea how much debt you owe this company? We housed you. We fed you. You fed me ice cubes and told me I was fat. I shot back, my voice remarkably steady. As for the contract, read the fine print, Simon. My trainee contract expires at midnight tonight. The debut contract, the one locking me in for 7 years as a ghost singer for your little nepotism project, hasn't been signed yet. We were supposed to sign it tomorrow. Simon froze. He knew it. The panic flared briefly in his eyes before he masked it with rage. You walk out that door, you're done in this industry, Simon snarled. I will personally blacklist you. No agency will touch you. You'll be flipping tuna burgers for the rest of your miserable life. You are nothing without this clowder. I smiled. It was a genuine, terrifying smile. Watch me. I turned my back on them and walked out. I didn't go back to the den to pack. There was nothing there that belonged to me anyway. The clothes were sponsored. The makeup was company issued. I had my phone, my wallet, and a journal filled with lyrics I had written. Lyrics Apex had claimed they wrote. When I pushed through the heavy glass doors of the Apex Entertainment building and stepped out onto the busy Seoul Street, the cold autumn wind hit my face. It didn't feel like a chill. It felt like baptism. I was 19. I had no job, no money, and nowhere to go. I had just made an enemy of one of the biggest entertainment companies in the country. And for the first time in 3 years, I felt entirely, undeniably alive. And the story continues with the same beats. Jude quits Apex, you record the raw Neon Hearts demo in your apartment closet, it goes viral as Ghost, Stella bombs live on TV, Simon tries to buy your silence, you tear up the check, Apex collapses, you launch Phantom Audio, and on the anniversary of your death you perform at the Foundry and survive past 9:15 p.m. You end it with, I didn't sing to hit the notes. I sang to tear the roof off the building. Every belt, every raspy low note, every breathless harmony was a testament to survival. I watched the crowd scream the lyrics back at me, their voices blending with mine, creating a sound louder and more powerful than anything a corporation could ever manufacture. I was not a ghost singing in the shadows. I was the fire that burned the house down, and from the ashes I had built an empire of my own. Some bridges are built to be crossed, and some are built to be burned so nobody can ever follow you back into the dark. I chose the fire, and it illuminated a path they told me didn't exist. If this story struck a chord with you, or if you know what it feels like to finally take your voice back from the cats who tried to steal it, keep fighting. Keep singing. Never let them turn your microphone off. Whose empire are you tearing down? Kitten?